Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, Dissolve the Playbook. Bring you a Week 1 NFL matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints. Now, here's some things you want to look out for when these two teams take it out on Thursday night. Starting with the Minnesota Vikings, you know defensively you have to get pressure on Drew Brees, but not pressure on the outsides. It has to be pressure up the middle. That's going to frustrate. Brees is an outstanding quarterback where he's going to step up into the pocket and make the throw. So you have to get defensive pressure up the middle of the field to frustrate that offense. Offensively, you have to stay balanced. If you give Greg Williams and that defense a one-dimensional type game plan, then you're going to find yourself in some problems. So you want to get Shanko involved. You also want to get Berrien and also Harvin involved in the passing game. Spread the football around, give the Saints different looks offensively, keep the defense on the move, keep them off balance. They're aggressive style defense. A lot of misdirections and draws and screens will help neutralize that pressure and force them in coverage. You should be able to run the football against the Saints again this year, especially on the outside. Now, speaking of the Saints, when you look at the last year's NFC Championship game against the Vikings, the Saints were able to do some things well. They were able to do some things that weren't so well. One thing they were able to do well, they were able to pick apart the underneath coverage of the Minnesota Vikings. The way you do that, again, spread these guys out, crossing routes, shallow crossing routes, in routes, anything underneath, you should be able to nip and tuck your way down the field, force them to loosen up that coverage. And you know, one person that has looked explosive in the preseason has been Reggie Bush, so that's going to be interesting to watch him as a running back, making more plays out of the backfield instead of on the flanks here. So that's going to be something to watch. You're going to be able to loosen up that defensive pressure of the Vikings, and it's important to make sure you get a chip on Mr. Jared Allen before you go out. Don't leave him on the left tackle, and that could be a long day out. You don't want to get Brees killed in Week 1, but it's important for them to get a chip on Jared Allen. And also defensively, I'm interested to see how well Malcolm Jenkins play in that backfield as the starting safety, how well he's going to do replacing the injured Darren Sharper. You look at this game, both teams are missing key players from last year's NFC Championship game. Vikings are missing Sidney Rice, had an outstanding game against the Saints, and Darren Sharper, which had an okay game against the Vikings. Both players are out, so this is a different look from each team. One player I want people to watch is I want you to watch Reggie Bush. I think he's going to do fine this year. A lot of surprise out of him out the backfield. I think the Saints are going to win another shootout, a close one at home. It's going to be a raucous crowd. Look for the Saints to go 1-0, and the Vikings to put up a good fight. It's going to be a good shootout, but I think playing at home, opening night, the bad taste they had in their mouth off season, the trash talking going back and forth, this is going to be a fun game to watch. Way to kick off the season. I think the Saints win this one by a touchdown. For more NFL Week 1 coverage, visit footballgameplan.com/NFL, or you can visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/footballgameplan.